Yo, what's up guys? Teacher Paul over here, and today we are reacting to History Matters video. Why did Sweden and Norway break up? This is a short animated documentary. If you want to check out the original video, the link is in the description, and yeah, go check it out. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. And if you have an exclusive request, you can support me on Ko-fi and send a video so that I will react to it. Okay, let's do this. Let's go. If you're watching from Sweden, let me know in the comments. If you're watching from Norway, also let me know in the comments. If you're watching from anywhere else, then hey, guess what? Let me know in the comments. Let's go, guys.
Breakups are never easy, especially when your ex goes on to become a wealthy petrostate. But this is what happened to Sweden, which was in a union with Norway for almost a century until their split in 1905. But what caused this dissolution? Why did Sweden and Norway break up? So, as of the closing years of the Napoleonic Wars, Norway was a part of the Kingdom of Denmark, whose ruler Frederick VI had just sided with Napoleon. Now, a lot of countries in Europe had done the same previously, like Russia, who had used Swedish closeness with Britain as justification to invade it and grab Finland for its own. Soon after this, Russia decided that it didn't like Napoleon anymore, and so it was time for new allies. The Swedish king wasn't doing much because of a heart attack, but his government did sense an opportunity. Finland wasn't coming back, but by siding with the coalition against Napoleon and his Danish ally, Sweden could gain Norway, something which Britain, Russia and Prussia agreed to, and even the Danish king agreed to its loss providing he got to keep Greenland and Iceland. The people of Norway were not happy with suddenly being the subjects of the Swedish king, and so the Prince of Denmark, called Christian because of course he was, declared himself the King of Norway in 1814 and proclaimed its independence. Against the Allies, he stood no chance of succeeding, but whilst they were busy fighting Napoleon, there was an opportunity to win political support.
Okay, so just a side note. I don't know how things were back then, but you'd guess there would be a referendum, right? The people would vote if they want that, because I'm guessing it was a democracy as well back then. Not sure how that works. If you guys know, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe democracy wasn't installed yet. Maybe it was a true monarchy, not sure, but a referendum would seem like maybe a good solution, but I don't know.
And he turned to Britain, whom he felt would recognise the plight of the Norwegian people and do the right thing to stop them from being handed over to a foreign king. But fun fact, no. Tensions rose, and when the Swedish came to claim their prize, fighting broke out. This lasted for about 2 weeks and ended with the Swedish making some concessions in return for Norway joining the Union voluntarily. Norway would keep its semi-democratic constitution, the king's powers there would be limited, and Norway would maintain separate armed forces. Relations between the two states improved over the next half a century, with the Swedish-based kings presenting a much more conciliatory tone to the Norwegian subjects. Although by doing this they angered Swedish politicians, who saw Norway as the junior partner in the Union, and many there feared that Norway would never be placated and would simply keep asking for more. And they weren't wrong. Norwegian politicians kept asking for more autonomy over the course of the late 19th century. The big one was when in 1891 Norwegian elections saw the Liberal Party victorious. The Liberals were proponents of Norwegian independence, but if that couldn't be achieved then they demanded separate foreign and trade policy for Norway. This was a big no-no, since at that point the Union would essentially be dead. The Norwegian government made a formal request for these new powers, and the Swedish responded with a well-formulated logical argument. No, and if you keep asking, we're going to invade.
Wow.
The Liberals backed down and over the next decade instead opted to focus on Norway.
So kind of like a harsh answer right there, right? Like they kind of like got a little bit fed up with saying no, and they became hostile, I guess. Eventually that would happen, I guess, for some reason.
They removed any reference to the Union from their flag, massively increased the size of the armed forces and built up border defences in case of an invasion. And in retaliation, the Swedish ended free trade between the two and imposed tariffs on products from Britain, Norway's largest trade partner. It was 1905 that marked the death of the Union, though, when the Norwegian government passed a law establishing itself as separate diplomatic service.
Okay.
The king vetoed this, the government resigned, the king refused to accept their resignation or appoint a new government, and as such, the Norwegians argued that he was in violation of the constitution by leaving Norway without leadership, and in response the Norwegian parliament declared its independence. In response, Sweden mobilised, which led Norway to do the same, and both armies sat on the border facing off. Wow. Swedish politicians and commanders were ready for war, and it was only when the Swedish people were overwhelmingly against military action that they backed down. This support was...
See, that's what I was talking about. You know, the people always have the power, because You know, the government will do what they want to do, but at the end of the day, when people get together and, you know, they pressure the government, the people always wins. They always win, historically. You can look at any revolution in history and you'll see the people always win. But this might have been a very, very scary time to have, like, you know, the two armies in the border facing each other, and a war could break out like very, very easily and very suddenly. Well, not suddenly, but you know what I mean.
That they backed down. This support was largely due to the Norwegian referendum, in which 99.9%
Oh, there was a
backed
referendum.
independence, which made it.
Okay, so wait, let's go back. There was a referendum. Let's hear what he had. Let's go back.
Referendum in which 99.9% of voters backed independence, which made it clear to everyone that Sweden could no longer force Norway to stay.
99.9.
The Swedish people threatened mutiny in the army and the general strike if Norway was invaded, which meant that King Oscar II had.
Okay, so who is that 0.01%? And I wonder why.
Was invaded, which meant that King Oscar II had no choice but to acknowledge the end of the Union. The Norwegian people then voted for a Prince of Denmark to become King of Norway, and thus, after a mere 500 years of being controlled by a foreign power, Norway would once again be an independent state.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, with a special thanks to my patrons, James Bizanet, Kelly Moneymaker, Mr. Wolf, Sky Chappelle, Adam Stalter, Jordan Longley, Rod D. Martin, Gareth Turner, Wyan Hockey, Jerry Lambdin, Spencer Lightfoot, Corsho Wolf, Boogly Woogly, Marvin Cassow, Winston Kaywood, Gustav Swan, Marcus Arsner, Captain Psydog, Aaron the White, Matthew Shipley, Robert Wetzel, Alex Schwinn, Maggie Paxkowski, The McWhopper, Anthony Beckett, Copper Tone, Spinning Three Plates, Charles I, Ben Ivinson, Scottish Trekkie, and Words About Books podcast.
Bro, he literally shouted out so many patrons. That is so awesome. Guys, if you want to go support History Matters, the link is in the description, as it always is to the original video. This is a very interesting animation, and history does matter, you know. It's good to learn about other countries. Thank you for suggesting this video. If you have any other videos, you can send it on Coffee. And guys, let me know in the comments this question: do you think Norway and Sweden, if they hadn't broken up, do you think the situation would be better nowadays? You know, people normally say that two is better than one, right? So what do you guys think? Do you think it would be a better, well, economy, or a better country? Let me know. I mean, we can only take a guess. I mean, this is a hypothetical question, right? But let me know. Okay, I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.